Merry Christmas, friend. Welcome to Christian Podcasting Secrets. I'm your host, Tammy Munson, and today I am bringing you a peek into the future. That's right. We're talking podcasting trends for 2025. We're going to look at what can we expect, what should we prepare for, but most importantly, how can we ride the wave while staying true to our faith and message. So grab your favorite Christmas beverage and let's dive in. Okay, so before we get started, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all of those that have tuned in since we came back earlier this fall. It means the absolute world to me that you take the time each week to listen. One more thing before we get started. If you are ready to kick your podcast growth into high gear in 2025, our good friends over at Lately have you covered. Now, my friend Kate Bradley Chernis is the founder and CEO of Lately. She's been a guest here on the show. And for those of you that may not remember that episode or you've never heard of Lately, Lately is the world's most advanced generative AI that takes your long-form content, like your podcast, and repurposes it into social media gold that speaks directly to your audience. Now, here's the best part. Lately is running an amazing holiday sale to help you start the new year off strong. And I don't want you to miss that. Now, Kate and her team have so kindly given me a code just for all of you to get 50% off of the starter tier. So the code is HLDY2024. Put that code in and you will save 50% off of the starter tier. Again, go to lately.ai, drop the code in there, and get that 50% off. No worries, friends. I will drop that link and the code for you in the show notes. Okay, let's dive into all the things because I've got a lot for you today. With Christmas next week and New Year's right around the corner, I thought this was a perfect time to look at what could potentially be coming our way in 2025. So I've got a number of trends that I've kind of been looking at over the last few months. So number one, video podcasting. Now this is not new. I talked about it a couple of weeks ago. We've been talking about it pretty much all of 2024. And it's no secret that platforms like Spotify have really been pushing video content, and it's only going to grow in 2025. Now, if you're like me, and the idea of being camera ready every week makes you want to run for the hills, don't worry, my friend. First of all, I want you to take a breath. It's not mandatory. Audio-only podcasts are not going anywhere. Now, if you do want to dip your toes into the video world, what I want you to do is start small. Try recording just a clip of your episodes for social media. Now, real talk here, y'all. I am advising several of my clients to not go all in all at once. So if the thought of the video overwhelms you, I get it. Start small. Pick one segment, record a clip, and voila, instant engagement boost. Think of video as an extension of what you're doing, not necessarily a replacement of what you're doing. Okay, trend number 2, bite-size content. Let's be honest, attention spans are not what they used to be. Short, focused episodes are in high demand, so this is really good news for us. If you have a 30-minute episode, why not break it down into juicy nuggets for Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, or even Threads on X? Now, we've recently had one of our clients do exactly that. And her episode got so much traction just from a simple little 2-minute clip for Instagram. Because it's not always about what you say, but it's how you slice and serve it up. In Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7, it says, "Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom. And with all thy getting, get understanding." And get that and provide that in bite-sized pieces. Now, another trend that I've really been diving deep into over the last several months is data-driven personalization. And y'all, it's everywhere. Platforms are working hard to customize your listening experience based on what you like. So for us, this means using our own data, analytics, feedback, comments, all those things to serve content that meets our listeners' needs where they are. Now, if you've been listening to the show for any length of time, you know I preach this on the regular. In fact, I've been preaching this for about 5 years now with all of our coaching clients. Recently, we've asked all of our listeners and email subscribers to fill out our annual survey. And we asked them what topics they want. What do they want to listen to? All those things, right? And the response has been overwhelming, to say the least. But that's a good thing. So we began to look at what content we are producing. And we kind of shifted gears slightly. And we've been taking some of this content and tailoring the content that we're delivering, whether it's social media and or the podcast or email or whatever it may be. And we're tailoring it to meet your needs as the listener, as the email subscriber, as the social media follower. Now, the result of all this, much more engagement, much more growth, and a whole lot of gratitude. Because data isn't just about numbers. It's your audience's voice. And you need to listen to it. Yes, this is your podcast. And yes, you get to call the shots on all the things that you do. But your audience is the driver of the downloads, the podcast consumption rate. Without your audience, you're going to be talking to no one. Just some real Enneagram 8 talk there. Okay, so trend number 4, podcast communities and listener engagement. Because nothing, and I repeat, nothing beats that real, authentic connection. So in 2025, community engagement is only going to be more crucial than it has ever been. And we talk a lot here about being in community with each other, driving engagement with your audiences. And we're going to continue that pattern. So as we know from some of the data that we did about what podcasting does to your brain on that episode, and I'll drop that link in the show notes for you. But what we do know is connection builds loyalty. And as Christian podcasters, it's an opportunity to reflect biblical principles of fellowship. Hebrews chapter 10, verses 24 and 25 reminds us that to consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds. So let's create the spaces where our listeners can feel heard, share testimony, and ask questions. Community strengthens our message and our impact. Whether that is a live Q&A, a Patreon channel, a Facebook group, your Instagram, X, whatever it is, even if it's just your email subscribers, drive that community engagement. You'll start to see that the people in those communities will remain super loyal to your show. It'll strengthen the message and absolutely help with delivering the impact that we're all trying to do. Finally, let's talk about money. Now, I know this is, for a lot of Christian women, it is our least favorite topic, how to make some money. I've had several clients over the years that have said, well, I'm not really interested in that. Well, we all need money. We all need to pay our bills and help our families and grow our communities, and that all takes money. And kids are getting more and more expensive by the year. My kids are 26 and 23, and they are just as expensive now as when they were little, maybe even more so. Because right now, there are more tools than ever before to help podcasters and creators. But it's all about choosing what aligns with your values. Because whether it's Patreon or you're just delivering bonus content, you need to be intentional with your monetization efforts. You need to make sure that it supports your purpose and it brings value to your listeners, and that you're not just making money to make a fast buck. You're building a ministry. I have had the opportunity many times over the last 5 years to do lots of really cool and amazing things. Some of them I've done. Some of them I turned down. Not because the value wasn't there. Value was there. But it didn't align with what I was trying to accomplish. It didn't align with the values of my company. It didn't align with my personal values. It just wasn't the right fit. Or it wasn't the right fit at the time. So I walked away from it. Now there's some days I wish, I should have did that. I wonder what would have happened. But in that moment in time, it just wasn't right. So when you're thinking about different monetization opportunities, creator support, all these types of things, you want to make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons, that it supports not only what you're doing, but the impact that you're trying to make. So there you have it, my friends. Those are the top 5 things I expect to see in 2025. Now, this is kind of like the weather. I don't have a crystal ball to look into. These are just my best guesses. And the other thing is, change is always coming. If you've been in podcasting for any length of time, you know that for sure. Despite that change, as long as we stay grounded in our purpose and our values and our faith in the Lord, that will guide us through. So embrace new trends, but always, 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 always remember your why. Why did you start? What's the reason? Who are you serving? So I want to thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of this journey with me. If you would like to be a part of our 2024 annual survey, it's still going on. It runs until December 31st. You can do that by going to wildfirecreativecompany.com/survey, and you can fill it out. It takes like 2 minutes tops, super easy, and you will have my gratitude forever and ever and ever. I do want to say thank you. Thank you for tuning in and being part of this journey with me as things change, as they grow, as we develop our communities, as we find new topics to talk about, all the things. Thank you so much. So until next time, keep creating, keep growing, and keep spreading God's message. I'll talk to you next week. Merry Christmas, y'all.